Hi everybody, afternoon and happy Friday. Yes, I am still in my gym kit. For those of you in the members club, I'm still wearing the gym kit I wore for the workout this morning because it's been a bit of a busy morning with client calls and so on. So hopefully I'll get to have a little shower after this live. I'm just going to wait a moment, see who hops on. And I hope you're having a lovely day. Hi Sam, I was just saying I am still in this morning's gym kit because I just literally have not had a moment to jump in the shower and sort myself out. But that's the way a busy working life goes, hey? Okay, so hi there Sarah, lovely to see you as well. Do let me know when you're joining me. Let me know you can hear me okay. I'm just going to move this slightly. There we go. Let me know you can hear me okay. And let me know if you currently struggle with your sleep or if it's something that you have nailed. And if you have nailed it, let us know in the comments what your top tips are on getting a good night's sleep. And if you are struggling, let me know what your current struggles are perhaps. So let me know what you might like to change, and hopefully some of these tips will help you. And do the same if you're watching this on replay as well. Do let me know which of these tips you are going to perhaps take on board, and also, as I said, if you are someone who struggles with your sleep, do let me know. And if you're somebody who has some sleep tips that you can share with us, hi Natasha, then let us know those in the comments as well. Let's share. This is our group, remember. I'm here to lead it, but ultimately we are all here to share and inspire and motivate each other to live fit and healthy lives. Okay, let's get ourselves started. So I've got a few tips. I've got a little post-it note here with my scribbles on just to make sure I cover everything I want to cover. And the first thing to say is caffeine. So I posted something in the group, was it last week? Yeah, last Tuesday's top tip was all about caffeine and how caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours and a quarter life of 12 hours. So the first thing to suggest if you are wanting to improve your sleep is to reduce your caffeine intake after, I would say, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not great to be having caffeine later on in the day, because it will still be in your system when you go to bed. So if you drink a cup of coffee at 2 o'clock, half of the caffeine in that coffee will still be in your system at 8 o'clock at night. And by 2 o'clock in the morning, you will still have a quarter of the caffeine running through your bloodstream. So whether it's tea or coffee or Coke, I would suggest cutting that out from sort of lunchtime onwards. That would be a great strategy to put in place. The other thing that I would suggest you reduce as well, particularly late on into the evening, is sugar. And I have personally found this to have a detrimental effect on my own sleep. So during lockdown, we have been purchasing dairy milk in quite large quantities. And if I have dairy milk in an evening, particularly if I have more than sort of 1 or 2 squares, which is often the case because dairy milk and many of those sweetened things are quite addictive, quite hedonistic, and we tend to keep eating them. We get that lovely dopamine fix from the first square of chocolate, so we reach for the second and the third, and the next thing we know, the whole thing is gone. But if I eat more than a couple of squares of chocolate, I definitely notice that my sleep is impacted. Now, that's not to say that I don't sleep. I feel that I've had a good night's sleep, but when I wake up in the morning, I still feel groggy, and I'm confident, I'm pretty sure that that is down to the sugar intake that I've had in the evening. And the same goes for alcohol, of course. Alcohol has exactly the same impact. So you will feel as though you've had a good night's sleep if you've got alcohol in your system, but actually the quality of your sleep will definitely be impacted if you are drinking lots of alcohol. So that is another thing to perhaps think about reducing if you're having issues with your sleep. Things that you could add in are a nice warm milky drink in an evening. So that has been shown to help with sleep. So the warmth of the drink and the milk itself are all shown to help with sleep. You could also have a warm bath, and that, I'm not one for having baths, I have to say, but that also will warm up your body and slow everything down and get you in a nice calm state before you head to bed. So getting the body warm before going to bed is a great strategy for sleep. Having said that, a strategy that's not great for sleep but will still warm up your body is exercising late at night. So I would say exercising anything after sort of 9 o'clock at night can be really detrimental to your sleep for a couple of reasons. The first one, you'll probably find it's quite difficult to get to sleep because you've got the buzz of the adrenaline running around your body. You've basically re-energized your body through the workout. And then, of course, when you try to go to bed, your body is in its alert and energized state. And that's inevitably going to impact on you getting off to sleep. And linked with that, if you want to get yourself to bed earlier, if you want to get to sleep earlier, then it's a really good idea to exercise early in the day. That doesn't necessarily mean like 6 o'clock in the morning, but the science shows us that if we exercise early in the day, that helps us to bring our sleep time forward and get us to bed a bit earlier. And then, of course, that has a lovely positive knock-on effect on the following day because you've had a really good night's sleep, you've gone to bed early, you've had lots of hours in bed to really rejuvenate your body and re-energize yourself. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling energized and ready to do the workout the following day. So you need to sort of break the cycle and get the workouts done early to then be able to get the better night's sleep, to then be able to do the workout early the following day. And as I say, that becomes a cyclical effect. The other thing that can help change your sleep pattern, so if you're somebody who's a night owl and you would really like to start getting to bed a bit earlier and waking a bit earlier, is to actually change when you go outside. So our body obviously has a natural circadian rhythm and it's all linked to sunlight and darkness. And if you get yourself outside early in the daytime, that will kickstart your circadian rhythm pretty quickly, so much so that you will then find you will want to be going to bed a little bit earlier. And having said that, getting outside just in general at any time of day helps with sleep as well. Getting outside helps to produce something called melatonin. And that melatonin, I think it's melatonin. I'm questioning myself now. I'm sure it's melatonin. Yes, melatonin. That triggers the release of your sleep hormones, and it triggers that circadian rhythm. And we need to have that melatonin in our system to help us get off to sleep. And the only way we can really get that is through sunlight. So we do need to get ourselves outside, get some fresh air. It's great for the soul anyway, particularly if you can get out in nature. It's really, really good for your mental health and your general well-being, and it will also help with your sleep as well. What else is on my list? Okay, so I have found things like journaling to be really helpful. So there's a couple of things you can do here. You can you could do both of them if you like. So some people like to write out their to-do list the night before so that they're not going to bed thinking about what they need to do the following day. It's all out of their head on paper and they can go to sleep without worrying that they're going to forget anything. I tend to check my diary the night before to see what I've got on the following day, just so that I'm clear in my head what I've got on the following day. And I use an app called the Asana app, which helps to manage all of my different to-do lists. So I know that my to-do lists are already basically written for me because I can schedule things in for future dates when I know they need doing. So I find that really, really helpful. And the other way that you can do journaling, excuse me, I've got a really itchy nose, is by writing out your gratitude for the day. So starting off, maybe writing down 3 things that you are thankful for from that day. And if you do that at bedtime, you can do it at any time of day, obviously. Lots of people do it first thing in the morning, but if you do it at bedtime, it's a really, really lovely way to send yourself off to sleep because you're focusing on the positives of how your day has been. And as you're sleeping, your brain is then tuned in to those lovely, positive and happy moments from your day. And that's going to help you with your sleep as well. And then just linked with that, one of the suggestions I gave to a client the other day, and she's taken on board and it's really, really helped with her sleep, is to have a little notepad and a pen on your bedside table. So you can either use that as you go to bed, as we've just said, to write out your to-do list or to write out your gratitude. Or you can use it if you wake in the middle of the night with something running through your head. You can jot it down in your little notebook and then you can go back to sleep, because all the while that we still have it running through our heads and we're worrying that we might forget about it, we're going to struggle to get back off to sleep. If we consciously get it out of our heads onto paper, then we are allowing our brains to switch off from that concern or worry or thing that we need to remember to do. It's on paper and we can worry about it the following day, and it allows us to then head off back to sleep, worry-free, and just clear our brain of anything that might be whirring around in the middle of the night. I always have a little pad and paper at the side of my bed, and I'll wake in the night, scribble something down. It might not be the most legible the following morning, but it's enough to remind me of what I was thinking about in the night. Meditation is great, and there are some fabulous free meditations on YouTube, and there are lots and lots of different lengths of these meditations. But if you find a lovely sleep meditation, they are really great for helping you drift off, and they take you down into a really nice deep sleep. And they also, a bit like the journaling, they help you to focus on the positives so that you've got that lovely warm feeling in your body and in your brain as you head off to sleep. Personally, I have paid for a subscription to the Calm app, which I find really, really good. And their sleep meditations, again, vary in length. You can just have some soothing music playing. I quite like to drift off to, hi Louise, I quite like to drift off to the rain. They've got a rain noise, I suppose, on that app. And I love the sound of rain. I find it quite soothing and calming, and that helps me to drift off to sleep. And they also have lovely morning meditations as well, which I really enjoy. They're only about 10 minutes long and are really, really beneficial. The other app that I've heard great things about, but I haven't used for some time. I did try it out about 3-4 years ago, but that's the Headspace app as well. So there's the Calm app and the Headspace app. And then, of course, you've got everything for free on YouTube. There's loads and loads of stuff on YouTube. So give that a go. And then you've also got the option of maybe listening to some calming music or listening to an audiobook, anything that you find that helps your brain to switch off from the whir of, the busyness of your day. I like to also read a fiction book when I go to bed. I find that really helps my brain to tune out from everything else and just literally, absorb myself for 10 or 15 minutes in a book. And then that helps me to drift off really, really quickly. And it's cleared my mind of anything else that might be whirring around at that point. Try and turn your mobile phones off sometime before you go to bed. The blue light that you get from your mobile phone and indeed from your television sets can have a really detrimental effect on your sleep. And it's not an ideal situation to have mobile phones in your bedroom. It's not really ideal to have televisions in your bedroom either, because they do give off, energy all through the night. So if you're able to, I would encourage you to remove your mobile phone from your bedroom and leave it somewhere else. Obviously, if you're using it for a meditation, that becomes a bit more challenging, but turn it upside down. So the screen is face down so that any of the blue light that's being emitted is just, sinking into your bedside table or some clothing or something. But I would definitely recommend switching your mobile phones off, other than maybe for the meditation, about an hour before you go to bed. And then the last thing I would suggest is having a sleep routine. In other words, going to bed at the same time and waking at the same time. And do that for every day of the week. So not just Monday to Friday, but your weekends as well. Your body will thank you for it. You're getting a lovely cycle of sleep and wake, and it will have a really positive impact on your sleep. And set in place some habits that you do before you go to bed. So maybe it's the meditation, maybe it's the journaling, maybe it's reading a fiction book, whatever it might be. Get those habits and do the same thing every single night. It's a bit like we do with small babies, isn't it? We put them in the bath. Well, they have their dinner. Once they're weaned, they have their bath, their bottle, and they maybe read a bedtime story, and then they go to bed. And we do that every single night, and we should be doing the same for ourselves. That sleep routine is helping our babies get off to sleep, but it can do the same for us as well. Now, we're not going to give ourselves a bottle, but you get the idea that, you know, if you've got a routine in place, your brain is being triggered. Oh, this routine is something that's telling me it's time to go to bed, and you will start to get into that sleepy zone and drift off to sleep so much quicker. So lots of tips there. Those of you watching me live, and indeed those of you that are going to watch this on replay, let me know below if any of those are things that you currently do or things that you currently don't do and you're going to give a little try too. So I'll just quickly whiz through what they were again, particularly as a couple of people joined late. So I talked about reducing your caffeine intake after lunchtime. I talked about reducing sugar in the evenings and also reducing your alcohol intake. I talked about adding in a milky drink or a warm milky drink or a warm bath, or indeed both. I talked about journaling. I talked about using meditation or music or an audiobook to help you drift off to sleep. I talked about reading. I talked about reducing your blue light intake about an hour before bed. So that's coming from your television screens and your mobile phones. And I talked about also exercising earlier in the daytime, making sure you get daylight every day, getting outside. And I also talked about setting a routine in place for your sleep and wake times, and also a routine prior to going to bed. So any of those tips that you already do, or any that you are going to take on board, let me know in the comments. Here we go. Sorry, your comments have literally only just pinged into me, guys. So Natasha's got a subscription to Calm. It's amazing. It is, absolutely. And Louise loves Headspace. You like the rain on the windows as well. And the kids love the sleep stories. Yeah, I've not looked at the sleep stories yet, but I'm sure they're incredible. And they have a get back to sleep meditation if you wake in the night. Yes, so does the Calm app, actually. So you're talking about Headspace there, Louise, I think. But the Calm app also has that get back to sleep app. You only have coffee in the morning. You're going to try the Calm app. Fantastic, Sam. They've got, I believe it's a 7-day free trial, and it's, I think, really good value. I think I paid, and now I might be wrong here, but I think I paid £30 for a whole year's worth of access to the meditations. And for me, they have been absolutely brilliant. So I think that's money well spent. How about you, Sarah? Anything that you are going to take from this? Natasha, anything you're going to add in that you don't already do? Louise, being a sleep coach, was there anything in there that you don't do yourself, or anything you can add for tips that you give to the people you work with? Definitely going to set a routine. I tend to stay up too late sometimes, and also, yeah, fantastic. Love it, Sarah. Let us know how you get on. And same with you, Sam. Let us know how you get on with the Calm app. These comments don't seem to be coming in properly, so I'm just going to sit and wait just a moment longer. See if you've got any responses to those questions I just posed. Need to break the cycle. Yeah. So how are you going to do that, Natasha? Have a think about how you are going to break that cycle. You're going to need to get to bed earlier for one night, I would say, and it will start to break that cycle. But let me know what your thoughts are. Louise has disappeared, so any extra comments from her, she's disappeared. Okay, I'm glad that was of value to you ladies, and I hope it's of value to those of you watching it on replay. This was something that came up in the masterclass that I ran a few weeks ago. People asked me to talk about my top tips on sleep, because one of the secrets I shared was how important sleep was to fat loss. So we know sleep is really, really important for our general well-being, but what many people don't realise is if you don't get enough sleep and you don't get good quality sleep, you are actually impacting on your fat loss goals. So anybody who is watching this who is looking to lose fat, do make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Make it a priority. It's really, really important for our health. And yeah, just let me know what you've taken away from that. I'd love to know what your biggest learning was from this live. And if you're on my Eat Well Lose Fat course, we will go into more detail on sleep when we get to that lesson in a few weeks' time. Love it, Natasha. Set that intention and smash it. I know you can. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I will see you again next Wednesday for Workout on Wednesday. And I plan to do another live probably in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So I'll pop a poll into the group just to see what you'd like me to talk about. And, you know, if there's anything in particular that you would like me to talk about, do let me know and I can do so. Have a great weekend and I'll see you next week. Bye.